Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Tess, and I will be making just whatever type of content I feel like making, day in, day out, or whenever I get to making content. But I have been seeing 24-hour reading challenges all over YouTube the last few weeks. I've been reinvested back into BookTube, so I've been seeing 24-hour reading challenges all over the place, and some people do them 24 hours straight through. Other ones break it up over a couple days, and that is what I'll be doing. I don't have to work tomorrow, but I don't want to mess up my sleeping schedule because it's already kind of messed up from working a bunch of day shifts and night shifts and doubles, and my sleeping schedule is already pretty wacky right now, so I don't want to make it worse. So I am going to be breaking the 24 hours up into sprints, like throughout today, throughout tomorrow, and probably not going to finish until like Thursday or Friday because I work pretty long hours the rest of the week. But I did start this already because I'm filming this at 5 o'clock in the evening, and I did technically start this a couple hours ago, so I just went ahead and wrote everything down. I currently read 27 pages of Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, and I'm on page 396. I'm writing everything down and also keeping track on my Apple Watch, because if you like, the first couple clips of the montage that I'm about to show you guys was actually taken on my phone, and it's just easier to use the watch for the timer rather than have to screen record the phone and everything. Whenever I do portrait type videos on my phone, they don't translate very well for YouTube because everything is landscape. So I just figured it'd be easier to do it on the watch. So I have the timer going on the watch, so should be less chance of anything going haywire, but if it does, I will have everything written down for this, and I will show you guys at the end of the video which books I read and with like how many pages I've read in every book and everything like that. So my TBR for this video is not super long because I just don't really have a super long TBR right now. I've been mood reading a ton lately, but these are just books that I really either just want to finish or get to. So we have Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which is my current read right now. And after I finish that, I'm going to be reading Of Dreams and Destiny by Sandhya Menon. This is the third, and I think, unfortunately, the final book in the St. Rosetta Academy series, which sucks because this series is so good. It is about these students at this academy for like royalty and heirs to different like company dynasties and things like that, and it follows different characters. And also my battery just started flashing. But book one was about, I'm gonna butcher her name and I'm very sorry about this, I think it's Jaya and Gray. And book two was about Catalina and I'm gonna butcher this name too, Reho? I'm not sure how to say that. And this one is about Daphne Elizabeth and a new student named Xavier. And I will show you guys as I'm reading, obviously, which books I get to. Oh, shoot. And the third and final book on my TBR for this video is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. It is the beginning of October, so I definitely want to read some mystery thrillers. I've been buying a ton of mysteries lately, so I really want to get to the series because I watched Haley Pham make a vlog about this series, and I literally bought the whole series when I was in Tennessee back in June, and I've been wanting to read it since. But I figured there's no perfect time to read this than in October. So anyway guys, I'm going to get to reading and I will give you guys updates along the way. So it is a few hours later. It is actually almost 10 o'clock. I have not been reading as much as I should have been tonight, but I'm currently an hour, 27 minutes, and 54 seconds into the readathon. I've been tracking every time I do like a little sprint. I have a 30-minute sprint at 26 and another 30, so kind of adds up, right? And then the one thing that happens to every YouTuber that has done this challenge, and my timer reset on my watch. So I had to restart from 0 in the middle of a sprint. So it still is, the timing is still accurate. I wrote it down, so I should be okay with writing it. And yeah, I am still in Crooked Kingdom. I have about 80 pages left of it. I have so far read 84 pages of Crooked Kingdom, and oh my gosh, it just got to a really good big plot twist, but I was eating dinner and reading at the same time, and I was about to leave because like the restaurant was closing, and also was like 9:30, and I was like, I'm gonna stop at a chapter. So I have about 80 pages left. I'm going to read this, and I will update you guys when I finish with a little bit of my thoughts. Alrighty guys, it is a little over an hour later and 2.5 hours into the readathon, and I have finished Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is also the 22nd book I've read in 2023, which is kind of crazy because I have not read this much in years. I've read like most of these books since Booknet Fest, which that vlog was so much fun. But yes, this book was phenomenal. I definitely preferred the Six of Crows duology to the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but you definitely need to read Shadow and Bone first because there are a lot of spoilers that could happen if you don't. But I really want to watch the Netflix series, but I don't have Netflix at the moment, so I'm like still debating how to do that. But I think I'm actually going to head to bed because I'm really tired from work this morning, and then just a whole bunch of stuff tonight. So in the morning, I'm going to be starting Of Dreams and Destiny by Sania Menon, because that is going to be a very quick read. It's really short, and that storyline moves super, super fast. I read the first chapter the other day, and I was instantly hooked. Her stories are incredible. Highly, highly recommend the St. Rosetta Academy series. It's super cute. I'm not sure whether I personally classify it as contemporary, even though it has a little bit of fantasy in there too. It's kind of one of those that's on the border of contemporary and fantasy to me, but I personally would say it's more contemporary. Like, it reads more like a contemporary to me, but I am obsessed with that series. It's one of my favorites this year. So yes, I'm going to go to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. Alrighty, so it is the next afternoon. It is just before 3 o'clock, and I did get a little bit of reading done earlier today. I ended up getting called into work today, so I wasn't able to dedicate the whole day to reading like I originally wanted to, but I still got a little bit in earlier while I was having lunch, and I got about 28 minutes in, like 28 minutes of reading in, so I'm right at the 3 hour mark. I didn't exactly time everything this morning, so I'm assuming that it's right at about 28 minutes, so I just rounded up to 3 hours. But I did start Of Dreams and Destiny by Sania Menon, and this book is going so quickly. I'm on page 20, so this book is going super fast. I am reading a lot faster than I read Crooked Kingdom, because to me this series definitely reads like a contemporary. It moves very fast, and there's a lot that happens, but the way she writes it, it flows so smooth that it's hardly like you're reading a fantasy. But I consider it contemporary personally because it just feels like more like a contemporary to me, and I just needed a little break from the Grishaverse. There's so much, it's so immersive and everything, so I just really wanted a break from that for just a few days. I've been reading Timekeeper by Alexander Monier on my phone. I'm using the Kindle app. I got this one a few years ago and I have been reading it for a while, but I picked it back up recently and it's really, really good. It is the second book in the Timeless duology, and it follows a girl named Michelle who is a time traveler, and she learns a lot about her family and time traveling and things like that. There's a girl out to get her named Rebecca because she ends up unknowingly she steals her dad's time key, so he can't time travel but she can, and she gets caught for it, takes revenge. She's trying to take revenge on Michelle from what her dad did to her, and by kind of ratting her out and stuff like that, but it's really, really good. I am 77% of the way done this, so I may finish this today or not. I probably have about 60 pages left. The phone, or the Kindle app on iPhone, doesn't really tell you what page you're on, so it's kind of really hard to do just the percentages, but I'm 77% through, so I may finish that today. For some reason, I read ebooks really slowly, and I tried to read this on my iPad a few weeks ago, and my iPad is old and it glitches a lot, so when I went to turn a page, it ended up turning a lot of pages, and I ended up having to remember where I was and what I just read. So rather than it skip around like that, I just read it on my phone. It's a little bit more convenient, and also when there's not like going on at work or I'm on a break, I can just go take out my phone and read it there. But anyway guys, I'm going to get back to reading, and I will update you guys when something interesting happens. So I am currently, oh, I almost thought I refreshed this. I am currently 5 hours and 27 minutes and like 30 something seconds into the challenge, and I have finished a book. So I finished Of Dreams and Destiny by Sania Menon. This book was so cute. This whole series is honestly absolutely adorable. I am obsessed with it. I adore Sania Menon's writing. This woman can write a fluffy romance, and I honestly think she's probably my favorite contemporary author. Well, my favorite YA contemporary author. She has such amazing books. I have read, of course, the whole Saint Rosetta trilogy, which I wish that there was more books out because I kind of want to know more about Leo and Will. But I think like they were already together, so I don't know like how that would work. But and I've also read When Dimple Met Rishi and loved it, so I definitely recommend this. I think I mentioned earlier that I picture like sitting in a large library with like a fireplace and either like a snowstorm or thunderstorm outside. Like this is like the cozy aesthetic that I get from these books, and these covers are so pretty. And even like when the dust jacket's off, it's still really, really pretty. So anyway guys, it's 12:14 and I do have to work tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna go to bed, but after I get off work, I'm going to be starting The Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So far I've completed 2 books, but I've been keeping a track of how much I've been reading. I was gonna do little sprints throughout the time of like 30 minutes here, an hour there, but I decided to just break it down by hour. So as of the 5-hour mark, I rewrote it down here, and as of the 5-hour mark, I read 399 total pages. That was up to page 213 of Dreams and Destiny. It was from pages 368 to the end of Crooked Kingdom, and pages 198 to 221 of Timekeeper, so it's quite a bit. I may read a little bit of Timekeeper tomorrow. But anyway guys, I'm going to go to bed and I will update you tomorrow when I start Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I meant to update you guys when I reached hour 6 of the readathon, but I did not because I was about to go to dinner and I figured I would just update you guys when I got back. But I did end up reading a little bit while I was out. During the last hour, I started A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And for the 6th hour, I got to page 35. Currently, I'm on page 45, so I didn't read that much this hour. But I did also finish Timekeeper by Alexandra Monier, which I had on my Kindle app on my phone that you just saw. So I finished that. I'm going to read a little bit of Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm probably going to find a new book on Kindle to read. I might choose one from Kindle Unlimited, but I also might read one of the ones that I've had for a while, because I've had friends send me books, and also I have a few that I've purchased over the years. So I'm not 100% sure what to read yet, but I will figure it out. And I will check in with you guys after the hour is over. I currently have 17 hours, 33 minutes, and 13 seconds left on the timer. So it's definitely going quite well. And yeah, I will update you guys if something interesting happens. Alrighty, so I've officially hit the 8-hour mark of this challenge. I have severely underestimated how long this is actually going to take me. So far I think I'm on day 4. And I'm only 8 hours into this challenge. I'm not gonna stop until I reach the 24 hours, but I definitely thought this is only gonna take me like 4 days to do, but I'm only on hour 8. But it's okay, we're gonna keep going, because I have the day off today, so I can probably get a few hours of reading in. I have made it to page 136 of Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This reads so fast, and it's so fast paced and so good. And I love the format. I love that it's not just traditional storytelling. There's a lot of interviews and different reports that she's writing. And I just love the writing style of this book. I am a sucker for good mysteries, so this is definitely perfect for spooky month. I love reading mysteries in October. Just in the fall in general, I love reading mysteries and anything to do with like crime and anything. Love this. Just hit a really big plot twist, so Right after I finished recording, I'm probably going to get some lunch and then continue reading this because I need to know what happens, and I really want to start the second book today. So it probably will happen, actually, to be honest with you. And I've also been listening to the audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I was on page 133 of this, and now I'm on page 168, so I read a little bit in here, well, listened to a little bit in here while I was like folding laundry and stuff like that earlier, which I still definitely have to put away, but it's fine. It's fine. Slowly but surely getting things done, but this is... So the battery just died in my camera, so I had to go replace it, but anyway, this audiobook is phenomenal. I love the way this is written. It's such a unique way to tell the story of how Daisy Jones and the Six came to be, and I love the interview that they've, like, the interview type writing style. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's so good. The audiobook is definitely the way to read this because, like, you can follow along with, like, what I like doing with audiobooks is I like having the physical book in my hand while I'm listening to it, because then I can follow along in the book and know exactly where I'm at. But also, just the way that the characters are and the resemblance to Fleetwood Mac is incredible. I love Fleetwood Mac. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. So I definitely am very much obsessed with this book. It is so good. It is the first Taylor Jenkins Reid book I've read, and definitely will not be the last. So I'm hoping to finish this today. Maybe tomorrow. Before this challenge is over, this is definitely going to be finished because I'm almost halfway done. I think Goodreads said I was like 40-something% done. So, anyways, I'm going to go grab some lunch and continue reading, and I will check in for you for hour 9. So guys, I have reached the 9-hour mark of the readathon, and I read 102 pages the last hour of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This story, I'm telling you guys, if you have not read this book and you like mysteries, please read this because it is a literal page turner and the story goes by so fast. There's not a lot of books I can read 100 pages in an hour, and I read 102 pages in this hour, and to be honest, I'm probably going to finish this today, and I have a Jeep Girl meetup this evening. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to finish it before then, but I'm going to get really, really close. So I am 1000% finishing this book today. It's amazing, and please read it if you have not, because it is insane. It's so good. So, guys, I thought I'd update you guys, and then now I'm going to get back to reading because I need to know how this is getting solved. I have 100 and like a little under 150 pages left. I'm on page 240, so I need to know how this ends. Alrighty, so we're officially 10 hours and 28 minutes into the readathon, and I just finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Oh my gosh, the last probably 50 to 100 pages, actually probably the last couple chapters were just insane. Like, I did not want it to end. I was supposed to leave for a G meetup like 30 minutes ago, and I definitely did not because I was way too consumed in reading this book. It was amazing. 5 stars, definitely. And definitely pick this up if you love a good mystery. And also, there's a ship in here that I was kind of expecting to happen, but I'm glad it did. And it definitely was worth the wait for them to go for each other. So now on to book 2 of the series is Good Girl, Bad Blood. And this is obviously a continuation of the storyline from Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but also there's a podcast, and your girl loves podcasts, even though I don't have time to listen to them like ever. So anyways, I will update you guys when I have some more exciting stuff coming on. So I think I last updated you guys when I finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I just picked up Good Girl Bad Blood, which is book 2 in the trilogy, and this one is starting up a little bit slower than the first one did, but it's still turning up it's still turning out really, really good. I'm currently on page 51 and just reached the 11-hour mark, so I have 13 hours left in this challenge. It is taking me entirely too long to do this, so hopefully I can finish by the weekend. I can probably get a few hours in tomorrow. I work tomorrow morning, so it might be a little hard. But yes, the way that these books are reading, I'm definitely going to read them very fast, because I read the first one in a matter of, I want to say like 5 hours. I'm not sure, but I'm going to read this and probably update you guys when I reach the halfway point. I can't believe that I've already finished technically 4 books already. That's insane. I hit my Goodreads goal last night when I finished Timekeeper, so I'm already, Goodreads says that I am 7 books ahead of schedule with 25 out of 24 books read this year, so pretty excited, but I will check in with you guys when I reach the 12-hour mark. So guys, I have officially reached the halfway point of the reading challenge. It has also taken me way too long to reach this point, but also the fact that I'm not just reading while I'm home. I am chatting with my friends and watching YouTube and everything. So I'm not just reading or listening to audiobooks, but I officially halfway through. You can see like 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds left. But I have started Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross on my phone or on my Kindle app. And that is on Kindle Unlimited, so I've been reading it there. And also been making a little bit of progress in Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This one is super, super good so far. I am on page 84, and yeah, I will update you guys with the next hour. So I just hit the 14-hour mark. I did hit the 13-hour mark earlier today, but I was at work and I still was reading, so I didn't update you guys for hour 13, but we're currently 14 hours into the challenge. I've read a total of 1,211 pages so far. I did start Divine Rivals. I don't know if I said it last night, but I started this on my phone because it's part of Kindle Unlimited, and I've been hearing a ton of buzz about it on like TikTok and Instagram and everything, so I downloaded that from Kindle Unlimited, and also have been flying, and I mean flying, through Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I'm on page 237 right now. I think, yeah, I just finished page 237, and this story just keeps getting better and better. I have a couple suspicions for who I think did it, but we'll see if I'm right in either one of those, because it seems like every time I'm like, I know exactly what's gonna happen, boom, plot twist, and it changes. So I love a good mystery for that reason. I'm a sucker for a really good murder mystery. So anyway guys, I will update you when I reach hour 15, probably tomorrow. And it's probably going to be when I finish this book, because I only have like 160 pages left. So definitely powering through this book. And yeah, I'll update you guys then. Okay, so I have 8 hours, 32 minutes, and 6 seconds left in the challenge, so I'm almost 2/3 of the way done. And I just finished Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. Oh my gosh, you guys. I want to say like the last 150 pages, I was at the edge of my seat. My heart was racing the entire time because I didn't know what was going to happen. And the 2 characters I thought were going to be guilty were not. And what happened at the end, I'm still wrapping my brain around it. It was insane. I was constantly just, oh my gosh, it was insane. It was a wild, wild ending. But that's what I love about mysteries, is a good mystery will have you like edge of your seat, your heart pounding, everything like that. And it's perfect. So I'm going to be going on to book 3, which is As Good as Dead. I'm probably going to start that right now, to be honest. Or maybe I'll read some Divine Rivals, but probably going to move on to the next book in the series, because I want to read a lot of mysteries in October. I think fall's the perfect time for just cozy mysteries, or just mysteries in general. So I'm going to go and read that, and I will update you guys when I hit the 16-hour mark. Alrighty guys, so I have officially reached the 16-hour mark, and I am currently just finished page 56 of As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This one is starting off the same as the other two, pretty fast paced to begin with. This one is taking me a little bit longer to read because the formatting is not as different as the first 2 books, where the first 2 books we had a lot of like cases and text messages and different conversations and interviews and things. This one doesn't have as many interviews, it's more just straight storytelling. And I just got to a really good part, but I'm actually getting ready to go to bed because I have to work in the morning. So I'm definitely going to be knocking more of this book out tomorrow because it is so good. I can't believe I read pretty much this entire series in one video, which is a very interesting one. So far I've read 1,425 pages in 16 hours, which is an average of about 89 pages per hour, which is pretty good, I think. It's definitely more than normal. Usually for certain certain genres like fantasy and sci-fi, I usually say closer to like 60 to 70 pages per hour. But I guess with mysteries and certain super fast-paced books, I read a lot faster. And contemporaries, I could probably pull about 75 pages an hour. But this one, the last hour, I read like 105, and the one before that was 110. So definitely reading these very, very fast compared to how I normally read. So I'm going to go to bed, and I will update you probably when I hit hour 17, or if something interesting happens before that. Alrighty guys, so I have just hit the 18-hour mark in the challenge. It is taking me way too long to do this challenge because honestly, I just have not been reading like I should be. I've been scrolling and watching a lot of videos, so definitely shouldn't be taking me like 2 weeks to do this challenge, but it is, and you know, sometimes it's life. But I am currently on page 214, or technically I just finished page 213 of As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, and I didn't update you for hour 17 because I was at work when I hit that yesterday, but yesterday I hit page 137, and then yeah, for hour 17 I hit page 137, and then hour 18 I'm at 213, so I have a total of 1,580 pages read in this challenge, and I'm averaging about 87 pages per hour, which is still pretty high for me. I have not been reading this as fast as the other two because honestly, it started, in my opinion, it started a little bit slower than the first two, but it is starting to pick up, and definitely an interesting conclusion because a lot of things that happened in the first 2 books are coming back to her. And I don't want to spoil what just happened, but I'm definitely going to be reading on, and definitely going to update you guys at hour 19 because I really want to finish this book today. So we'll see how long it takes, and if I am able to start the novella. I bought Killjoy, which is the novella for the series, on Tuesday, I think. No, Monday. I bought it on Monday afternoon, so I will be reading that next, and we'll see what happens after that if I have any time left. I'll be working on Divine Rivals. I didn't read any of that yesterday, so I've just been focusing mainly on Killjoy because I need, or not Killjoy, As Good as Dead, because I need to know how this series ends, and I need to know what happens to Pip. So anyways, I will update you at the hour 19. So guys, I just hit the 19-hour mark, and I am currently on page 297 of As Good as Dead. Oh my gosh. Right after I updated you on my progress from the last hour, I hit a very important plot twist. I kind of knew it was coming. I expected it fully, and still it was like, I did not believe I was right. I had two characters that I'm like, it's either one of these two, and it was one of the characters that I thought the stalker was gonna be, and I am glad to be right about that. But what happened after we figured out it was him? At first I thought it was like a daydream or something, because that actually happened earlier in the book with the other character I thought it was. So I was worried for a second that it was going to be another daydream, but then I looked and I was like, oh no, it's actually happened. So definitely, if you're going to read this series, buy all 3 books, because you're going to want to binge them. And I now have to convince my coworker to finish reading the series, because she's on book 2, and I need her to finish the series so that we can discuss this book, because I need to talk to somebody about this. And if you read Good Girl's Guide to Murder, feel free to comment or send me a DM on like Instagram or something, and trust me, I will be more than happy to discuss this book with you. I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, so I definitely don't want to go in detail. Guys, I'm going to get back to reading because I only have a little under 160 pages left, so I'm definitely finishing this tonight, and probably within the next couple of hours. The way I've been reading, it's probably going to take me about 2 more hours to finish the book, so hopefully I do. But I will update you guys at the 20-hour mark. Alrighty guys, so I just hit the 20-hour mark. This book, I'm not gonna lie, is taking me way longer to read than I should. I can only read like little bits and pieces, and I don't know why, but I am finding parts of this book really unsettling, and I'm not sure why. But there's a lot in here to uncover. I'm definitely not going to go into detail because I will in fact spoil something for somebody who has not read the series, and that is not what I want to do on this vlog. It's definitely going to be a spoiler-free vlog. But we're at the 20-hour mark, and I have just hit page 373 in As Good as Dead. And let me tell you, while this book is absolutely wonderful, in my opinion, it doesn't move as fast as the first 2. Like, it still moves super, super fast, but I don't think it moves as fast as the first 2 did. And also that there's also just some part of it that feels very unsettling. I don't 100% know why. Anyways, I'm going to read a little bit more and see if this unsettling feeling goes away. It should. It's starting to go away, so I can probably pick this up a little faster. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to reading. So it's the next morning, and I actually hit the 21-hour mark last night. I just was way too tired to update you guys on what happened. I am dressed and ready to go to the Eras tour. My friends and I are going. super excited. But anyway, I did end up finishing As Good as Dead by Hallie Jackson. The ending was not what I thought it was going to be, and I about cried at the last 2 chapters because I didn't want Pip and Robbie to go their separate ways. Also, what is on my face? I don't know. Probably lipstick. It's okay. But I could not get enough. I really can't get enough of Pip and Robbie. They're so freaking cute. And this book, in my, like, honestly, was not my favorite in the series. I think probably the first one or the second one was my favorite, but they were still really, really good. And right after that, I did pick up Killjoy because I still had a few more minutes. So I made it to page 17 of Killjoy. So this is the novella that takes place before the first book. You don't have to read this in order to read the first book. It's just like you can read this whenever, and I didn't realize that this was with the series until after I finished the first one. So I'm just going to read it now. And it gives perspective as to why Pip chose the case she chose for her senior capstone project. And so far it is pretty good. I have like 100 pages left, so I'm definitely going to finish this today and work on Divine Rivals to round out the rest of the challenge. But so far I have finished 2 books that I already previously read, and I started and finished 4 books, which is insane. I'm looking at my pile and I'm like, are you serious? I've read so many books in the last couple weeks during this challenge, which was not my intention to take 2 weeks for this challenge, but you know, life happens. Life happens, work happens, so I wasn't able to dedicate as much time in the last couple weeks to it as I wanted to, but you know, all's good. At least I'm working on it. I'm still doing it. I haven't given up. So I still have 3 hours, and I will update you guys when I hit the hour 22 mark. So guys, a little bit ago I hit the hour 22 mark, and I did finish Killjoy, which is the novella for Good Girls Guide to Murder. And also I picked back up Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I do have this on Kindle Unlimited, but I figured the cover was just so pretty that I just had to have it in my collection. So I have the physical copy as well, and usually I just read this like on my breaks at work, but I really want to know how the story ends. And I just had a really sad plot twist, and I'm not going into detail, this is spoiler free, but I'm on at page 78, and I am going to be reading on quite a bit, so I'm going to round out the challenge with reading Divine Rivals, and I will see you guys at the hour 23 mark to see how far I've gotten. Alrighty guys, so excuse my hair being a hot mess, I just took my headphones off, but I just reached the hour 23 mark, which means I only have an hour left to go of the challenge, which, like, I think I've said it 20 times already that this challenge is taking me way too long, and I'm highly, like, overly aware of that. But I have been reading Divine Rivals, and I am currently on page 157, or no, I think I just read page 158, so I'm going to be finishing off the challenge by reading some of this, and I will definitely give you guys a really, really good wrap-up of the books I've read, because I've read 5 books, I think it was 5 from start to finish, and then I completed 2 other ones, so there's a lot to go over, and I will definitely do that once I finish the challenge, but for now I'm going to read more of Divine Rivals and give you guys a nice update. Okay, so guys, I just finished the 24-hour challenge. I was only expecting this to take about 4 or 5 days, and it took 2 weeks. But last, we have finished the challenge, and there's a lot. There's a lot to unwrap here. First things first, I started and finished 5 books, which is a lot for me. So the first one that I started and finished was Of Dreams and Destiny by Sania Menon. Then it was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. The third book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. And the novella for the Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Killjoy. Started and finished all 5 books in this challenge. And I also listened to about 35 pages of the audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm listening to the audiobook, so I don't really gravitate to this very often, but I am really loving the storyline, and if you love Fleetwood Mac, which they're one of my favorite bands, then definitely check out the audiobook, because honestly, the audiobook is so much better than just reading the physical book or an ebook. Listen to the audiobook, it's so much better. And I'm totally doing this out of order now, I realize. But I actually started the challenge by finishing Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. So I read this, then I read the books that I did start to finish. And after I finished Killjoy, I picked up Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. And also, actually, just kidding, I'm missing a book because it's on my phone. And also I finished the book Timekeeper by Alexander Monier. I read this on my phone. I started this actually a couple years ago, and I just don't really read on my phone very often. I read very slowly on my phone, so I don't like reading a ton of ebooks on it, but I had Timekeeper that my friend got me a couple years ago, so I finished that. So actually I finished 2 books that I already started, read 5 start to finish, and then I read portions of 2 other ones. So that is a lot. I'll have a full page breakdown probably in the description of like how many pages I read per hour, but in total I read 2,104 pages, and that is an average of 87.67 pages per hour. So it's 87 2/3 pages per hour, which is actually a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. My goal was about 1,500 to 2,000. I mean, a lot of the reason that it is that high in the first place, because usually I only read about like 60 to 80 depending on what genre I'm reading. But I think the reason it was so high was the Good Girl's Guide to Murder books, the first 2 in the novella, and actually Of Dreams and Destiny. I read those super, super fast. I was hoping to at least read the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, because that's like the top of my October TBR. And honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to do the rest of the month. I'm definitely finishing Divine Rivals. I mean, to be honest, I still really am invested in the story, and I really want to finish it tonight. So it's only 8:30, so I might actually finish this tonight. But as for the rest of the October TBR, I don't know, because there's a lot of books I want to read. So anyway guys, that is going to wrap it up for a reading for 24 hours. I basically just did this one as an experiment to see like how long it would take me to semi-realistically read 24 hours, because like this is like a realistic week. Usually like in the future I definitely plan on doing these in a lot less time, because I want to dedicate way more time to reading, but with work and everything and life and just life in general, it's kind of hard for me to dedicate more than about like 4 hours of reading a night. So it definitely takes a lot longer for me to do these challenges than most people. But I definitely want to try more challenges like this, and if there are any fun challenges you guys think I should do. I've thought about the 200 pages in a day challenge, and the problem with that is my work schedule. Sometimes I work really long shifts. But if there's any challenges you want to see me do or think would be fun, and my battery's flashing, so if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.